Boom.
We're live.
We're live.
This is crazy.
You're live right now.
It's been, 5 years since we last recorded? 4 years?
Oh, it's been at least a long time.
Yeah, you can't even find
it's
that
been
on
like
podcast. I tried to scrub that thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't even know if I want anybody to even find it.
You will never find it, I promise you. That's why I've already established
Oh my God.
in my future life, I will never run for political office.
Way too much blackmail,
Dude,
way too much stuff on the internet, dude.
No, and none of it was malicious.
Oh,
it was
no,
just
no.
boys being idiots.
Yes, dude.
and-
It was nothing malicious, nothing
No.
maybe slightly illegal at the time. Maybe. Oh my goodness.
No.
Well, dude, I cannot wait to absolutely dive into this. Guys, welcome back to the podcast. Once again, I've just had 3 episodes back to back that I'm just so excited for. This one in particular, episode 41 now of the 7 on 7 podcast. And today on the show, guys, I have my fucking boy, Vinny Wilson, on the podcast today. No
that?
cap. We are here. You see the flavors, the new sodas, dude. We, as you guys kind of heard in the brief intro, and kind of to give you guys a very quick debrief. Vinny here is the guy who actually got me into podcasting, because if you guys have been following me for any sort of amount of time, you guys know I used to go down to San Diego all the time, where he used to live with him and Eli and Frankie.
Yep, Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank. And we used to film a podcast called Pimpin' the Simp. Used to be a thing. Don't go looking for it, please. But that was like my first introduction into being like on camera and on podcasts. And I was like, dude, this is like really fun.
It's
and
so much fun.
Dude, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And I was like, dude, why don't I do this? So, dude, I said it on an episode not too long ago that I was like, yo, shout out Vinny Wilson for like introducing me to like the podcasting world. And now here we are, full circle. He's on my podcast
Literally, almost half a decade
now.
later.
Literally almost half a decade
which
later.
is crazy, dude. Like,
Absolutely insane.
and even further back than that. So I met Gage my sophomore year of high school, which would have been your freshman year.
Yes.
And shout out doing 8th grade twice. But I actually met Gage through, we just played football, and
Yep.
then we were on the same track team. And the reason that sparked it, even 5 years later from that beginning point to the podcast, was the funniest thing I've ever seen you do. Do you remember what it was?
Dude, I don't know.
Okay, we were driving back from track practice. and
Oh,
we used
the
to
burrito!
Dude, we used to take this little freaking school, like just yellow school. Like, we're going to a private high school. These baseball teams get these Lux buses. Everyone gets nice, like, just stuff. And we're on this yellow school bus taking us to a community college off-site. I sound like such a fancy person saying
The track
that,
team was poor.
but like, dude, we had
We were
no
poor.
funding at all. Like, it was terrible. But at the same time, it was so fun because you just felt like a little kid on the school bus. And this guy, I was like, dude, this is one of the funniest moments of my life. We're driving back, and for some reason, he's got a leftover bean and cheese burrito that's already half eaten. And he's like, he turns to me, he's like, dude, you think I should throw this? And I was like, this is just like 16-year-old Vincenzo. I was like, yeah, dude, that's a good idea. And so he throws it out the window into another window of a driving car, and you just see the beans from the burrito go boom. And I was like, oh my land. Like, looking back,
and we all were like,
oh, dude, it was so, well, it worked out perfect because like we were turning onto the freeway and he was going straight. Dude, if I had a burrito thrown in my car, I would hunt the kid down. It would be like Straight Out of Compton, where they like stop the bus and they get on. I'm fighting a child.
oh my God, dude, I forgot about that.
That moment like stuck with me for so long, because then you transferred from OLU the next year.
Yes, to VP.
And our podcast was like, it was starting to get going. It was starting to get rolling. Because there was nothing else to do during COVID.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
it was literally nothing else. And so I was like, okay, let's add some dynamic to this. I'm going to call one of the OG funniest people I know that enjoys like content creating and
Yes.
stuff like that. It's not like, it was just awesome. It just worked out perfect.
It was amazing.
So
Dude, those were some times.
Dude.
Getting shot with paintball guns in your guys' apartment.
in my kitchen.
In your kitchen. When you got pepper sprayed.
Oh my Lanta.
You got pepper sprayed.
If you've never been pepper sprayed, it hurts. It hurts.
No shit,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, no, that was freaking crazy, dude. Doing fake island employees pranks and
Yes.
stuff
Oh
like
my
that.
God,
Like,
Vincenzo.
oh
Those were
my
some
lord.
times, dude. That's actually so funny that you say that. Like just talking about all this because I was on my way. I think I was on my way to the gym after like it was like an early morning, and I was just thinking, kind of like how we were briefly talking before we started rolling, was just how like the last like 5 years, 8 years, it just seems like.
Yeah. It's just a blur.
Yeah, it's just like a blur. And I like stopped and thought, and I was like, dude, like I so vividly remember like just getting in my car with nothing to do and just driving down to San Diego all the time.
Yeah.
Just doing whatever, whenever.
There was
like
nothing else to do at the time.
there was nothing.
Literally.
And it was just crazy to me. I was like, that it's not that long ago, but it seems so long ago in comparison to like how life is now and like what everyone's doing and everyone's past and like how busy and responsibilities and all this. And I was just like, this is so crazy that like a couple years ago that was what I was doing. You know what I mean?
Well,
and I'm sure you got to feel like
it's
pretty
like-
similar.
Dude, I was literally just talking to my buddy Tyler like 2 weeks ago about this. I go, so I turned 26 and I was almost embodying the meme where it's like when a guy finally turns like 26, 27 and he becomes an adult and it's like his brain fully forms.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up one day and I was like, dude, I got dad strength without having a kid.
Yeah.
And I realized like other people have feelings and I'm an actual adult now. Like
I
this
actually
is
like
wild.
have to like be aware
Yeah.
of like what I do and what I say.
Before it was like, yeah, whatever, pepper spray me. You got a paintball gun?
Hey, run a mile
Shoot
with
me.
4 locos.
Dude, we just sign up with no training and run 24 hours and Gage is going to just die.
Die.
I'm going to die and it's just for fun.
Dude, yeah, those were some absolute incredible
Dude.
times now.
Well,
like looking back on it, just some of the greatest memories that like I have genuinely.
Well, it's so weird too cuz like
Holy hell, dude.
I've been on like a reoccurring thing that I've noticed. I don't know if you can relate to this, but after high school, I got my 8th concussion from football my junior year. And then dude, it was so bad. Like looking back at it, I was like, dude, I'm a tank. Dude, I'm a tank. Cuz then I felt like I lost so much purpose because I played football since I was 4 or 5 years old.
Totally.
Like, okay, so then I'm just going to do track, whatever. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then after high school, it was like, okay, what do I do now? Because I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I devoted my entire life to sports.
Yeah.
And then I found this thing where it was creating, but it wasn't just like, oh, let me just pick up the camera one day and that was that.
Yeah.
Dude, like 2019 to 2020, that was like the most depressing time of my life. Like, dude, I got arrested. Dude,
What?
Literally for being so like it was a danger to self. I was so lost and so out of it. That's where me and Frankie got so close. Was he helped me during
way.
that super dark time. And it literally was I was at Sunset Cliffs in I think it was like February or it was like December 2019 to like February. And I literally sat there for so long. For some reason, I had the car on, but I was sitting in the bed of a 4Runner, and I was just journaling the whole time. And I was like, dude, whatever's out there, please direct me. Please give me purpose. Please give me reason, because I am lost. I am beyond lost. And then it was literally, 2-3 weeks later that I did the Applebee's thing, and I was like, oh, let's just freaking make content for a living.
No way. I didn't know that was the sequence.
That literally was the sequence of it. So 2019, I wasn't doing anything. Like, I wasn't involved in fraternity life or Greek life. I just transferred from U of A to SDSU. I was so depressed, so down. I really didn't feel like I had any friends at all because all my high school friends hooked up with my high school girlfriend. And I was like, okay, like, that's cool. So
Sweet, dude.
whatever,
Thanks.
nice. And then it was literally just creating and having fun. And then it was
Yeah.
like, okay, let's just keep having fun, and brought you in, and we just kept just having fun. That was
Yeah.
it.
No,
That was
literally.
it.
Wow, I
Yeah.
did not know that. And that kind of
yeah.
like goes to like my kind of first question, because obviously it's been so long since I've like actually seen you. But in that sequence of like the timeline, like where I'm thinking, and to like give people context to like where you're at kind of like right now. So it was obviously the SD stuff that we're all talking about, and then you stayed in SD for a little bit. Because I'm wondering, where did the Minnesota part come in?
Dude, that's okay. So tying back even to like our last time ever filming together, I moved back from SD basically right after that. because
Gotcha.
that's when I don't know what video we were supposed to film, but it was me, Gage, and another dude. I don't want to name drop him just in case he's not doesn't want his name called out for the podcast, but me and him were setting up some sort of video, and then I got a call that day that some guy wanted to kill me with 8 of his friends, and I was like, "You remember that?"
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy
dude! I literally.
Oh my god.
So we were. I don't think it was a podcast. I don't know what we were supposed to be doing that day, but we were supposed to film. I get a voicemail from someone that's like, "Hey, you hooked up with my girlfriend." I did not, and I'm gonna kill you. And I was like, what? Like, I thought someone was prank calling me just from how crazy our content was. I wasn't surprised when people reached out for just stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And he said he was going to kill me with 8 of his friends. And I thought about it and I was like, nah, he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. Because I thought I was just getting messed with. And then I ended up calling the number that because he Instagram called me. So I ended up calling the number that he put on there, and I call him, whatever. We're going back and forth, and I have our buddy filming the conversation, and he goes, "I'm going to come over with 8 of my friends, and we're going to stomp your head in and kill you and this and that, da-da-da-da." And I'm literally recording the entire call, and I'm like, well, this is unique. I don't know how to react to this, because he does know where I live, because we had parties at our apartment, so a lot of people knew where we lived. And I was like, this is interesting. So I did 2 things. I called Eli and Jesse. I was like, hey, some guy just threatened to kill me. Like, can you guys come down here? And that was like awesome because they came down. Like, that's a true friend. That's awesome. For sure. And then I called my dad and I was like, because he's working and all that. I was like, dude, this guy just says he's going to kill me. Like, what do you think about this? And he thought about it a little bit and he's like, And then I sent him the video of our phone call back and forth. And then after that, he was like, allegedly, he was like, yeah, I'm going to drive down there on my Harley with a fucking sledgehammer. Sorry, cussing.
It's all allowed here, but if you have PR purposes, I understand.
No, but then he literally came, and it was me, Eli, Jesse, and my dad sitting in my apartment, and because the guy said he was going to kill me at 5 o'clock. So I was like, okay, we're just, yeah.
Hey, dude, be ready. Yeah. 5 o'clock today, you're dying.
Yeah, literally. It was like a movie, and I was like, okay. So we're all sitting there, and I was like, dude, I like our odds. Like, us 4 against 8 nerds, I got this.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there, and 5 o'clock comes, and Jesse's like, he set an alarm on his phone. He goes, 5 o'clock, where are they at? And I was like, this is like super interesting. But what basically dissected that entire thing was the guy that we were filming with ended up bailing to San Francisco because he didn't want to be involved. And I don't blame him for that because everyone gets scared in conflict. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, it was like, damn, like one of my best friends. It's the principle, you know, like, yeah. And that's a hard thing to go through. But after that, I moved home, and it ties back to what I was saying of losing sports from my life was now losing content creating because I was like, now once again, I have no purpose. I don't know what to do. I'm back home with my parents. What's going to happen? Yeah. And we tried filming like together, I think like once or twice, but it was still so hard because during COVID, we couldn't really go anything. We went to Chapman that one time. Yeah. The campus was dead. Yeah. Like there's nothing to do. So it was a relapsing thing of no purpose at all. So what happened to you after all that filming was done? Like, what were you going through?
I'm trying to think. So when that all ended, how old were you? Because you're like just about a year older than me. Because I'm trying to like rewind in my head what age I was at for chronological purposes.
2021, I think this was.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. So I was 21.
It was right before your album release party.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So which was in 2022.
So that must have been right there then.
2022.
Yeah. It was right before that.
Yeah. No, I think that's right where it was. That was honestly like, I tell people this a lot, and I even tell my lady this. I'm like, because she's 2 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And that like 21 to honestly like 23, 24, even like recent times, like that was a really weird time in my life for me, just in the sense of, you're not 18, but you're not 25, you're not 28.
Yeah.
And like you have things that you want to do, but you don't know exactly how to necessarily approach them in a productive manner or in a mature manner to be able to get done what needs to get done kind of thing. And there was definitely a lot of, back and forth between my head and working different jobs and sitting I remember on my 21st birthday, I sat inside of a shipping container at work because that was like what I had to do on my 21st because I didn't have anything else to do, and I was like very lost, in a similar way of like, I know I don't want to be here, but I don't know what I really want to do. This is my only option type thing, and I don't have anybody in my life in the sense like significant others and people were. I didn't live here, so I didn't have roommates, and friends were kind of sporadic, and that was a very, very unique time for me. But it feels inappropriate for me to say because I feel like it was nothing compared to like what you went through, and like why did you go to Minnesota?
Okay, so
because you lived in Minnesota for
the last 2 years,
yeah, okay,
it was a weird thing.
I remember when I saw that on social media, I was like,
oh, dude,
like,
that's
what?
a funny story. So literally,
like, Vinny is living in Minnesota.
Oh, dude, let me tell you how this works out. So I moved back home. I ended up getting a girlfriend in Arizona. I was doing the long distance thing. Didn't work out because
Why do I feel like I vaguely remember her?
It was just a weird time because I was still felt so lost. Like looking back at it, just I'll fast forward. I end up working at a bar in Lake Elsinore area, and for those of you that don't know, it's a very unique crowd in that area, Inland Empire type of thing. And I remember just walking in one day because I had sent out 50 applications. I had my college degree. I have some experience with just like helping my dad out with some of his beverage companies and things like that. And I got denied from all 50 jobs. It came down to the point where I even went to Riverside Police Department, went to do like the whole obstacle course training, like Paul Blart style, just freaking running and all that. And it's like a mile and a half trial run, obstacle course thing, and some other stuff. I ended up winning like everything, and I'm like, dude, I got this.
Yeah, you're like, dude, I do this stuff for fun, dude, in my free time.
Yeah, I'm like, I totally got this. And I end up going, because right after all of that, you end up handing like your little resume in, and they just tell you yes or no on the spot to an interview. And from there, I handed in, and it was like, no, nothing. So
Jeez.
I was like, there it goes. There's
Sick.
a solid point. Time, like, nice. What am I going to do? So I ended up going to the bar that I remember my parents going to a lot with all their friends when I was growing up. And I just walked in. I didn't know I was talking to the owner. I was like, are you guys hiring? Like, I'm trying to just figure this out. And I handed her a resume, and it has SDSU, all the other crap I've done. And she's like, yeah, you want to start, like, tomorrow? I was like, okay, like,
sweet,
that's cool, got a job. And you're still at this point, I mean, this was 2022, so I was 24, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, I gotta hang out, try to figure this out along the way, try to do some different side hustles. I can still create all that good stuff. And I started getting into it. And like, if you've ever worked in the food industry, it's very, very addicting because you get the cash tips at the end of the night.
Yep.
So there were some nights I would make like 500, close to $1,000 in tips.
Wow.
And you're like, dude, I'm freaking murdering. Like, this is
I'm
sick.
rich.
Dude, I'm freaking rich.
I'm freaking rich.
Yeah,
dude.
I'm living with my parents. I'm rich. Like, this is sweet. And at the same time, it was like so draining because then you start to deal with the repetitive aspect of like dealing with drunk people every day. And, Stacy pukes on the ground. Yeah. Somebody's got to clean it up.
I feel like the environment could get old.
It gets old.
Yeah.
And it's the unique word of the word toxic in the sense of, someone's buying you a shot, so then you're going to take the shot with them, and then I was working from basically 4 p.m. to 4 a.m., which is just not a good cycle at all, and it was just a reoccurring thing where finally one day, this is where it hit me. It was in December of 2022, and I'm talking to one of the other bartenders, and I go, this job makes me understand people that can't wait for retirement because I can't stand this at all. That night, someone in the girls' restroom puked and pooped on the wall at the same time. Like, she puked in the toilet and pooped on the wall, and we all looked at each other. It was like, someone has to clean it. I was like, dude, I will quit right now before I have to clean that. I promise.
I will walk out.
Dude, I will
right now.
walk out right now. That is a promise. Like, I'm not even joking.
You couldn't pay me enough to do that, dude.
No, hell no.
Hell no.
And so I was like, dude, that's it. I'm done. And so at this time, like, I still had like, I had like 30,000, 40,000 followers on TikTok, and I just started spamming people in Hawaii, Tennessee, freaking Minnesota, just all over because New Year's Eve was coming up. I had no girlfriend, no plans.
Yeah.
I was like, let's figure this out. So I just started spamming everyone. What you doing? What you doing
What you
tonight?
doing?
Yeah. And so,
Can I come over?
Yeah, literally. And so I had one girl in Minnesota be like, oh, you can come out and hang out with me and my friends for New Year's Eve. Never met this girl in my life. And was like, I'm down. Like, I'm down. So like 2 days later, I book a flight. Don't tell anyone, no friends, no family, anything. I fly at like 4 a.m. from Ontario to Minneapolis. I send a selfie to my fam and friends. When I get there, I go, dude, I'm in Minnesota. Like, this is crazy. She picks me up. I was nervous the whole time she was not going to pick me up because you never know. It's a stranger. Like, I've never
just been stranded in Minnesota.
Literally stranded in Minnesota. I'll figure it out. But it was a unique thing. She picks me up. She brings me back to her house, and we're just hanging out, and we end up going out for New Year's Eve together. And sounds so cheesy, but it was a weird scenario where I only spent 36 hours there, like a day and a half. But it was also the same time where I was looking for a new place to be. I was looking for a home, and I found somewhere random, like the sequence of it to be.
Gotcha.
And so I end up freaking, moving there. Like, I literally, this is even crazier too. So we filmed 2 TikToks that night for New Year's Eve, and both of them got like 100,000 and one got like 200,000 views. But she worked at a school and she ended up getting fired because of that. So like, it was a multi thing. So she got a red flag strike or whatever for the video going viral because she was drinking in it, which is a stupid thing to get a red flag for. Like,
yeah, you're not on
adult.
campus.
Like,
yeah, like, what are you?
It's New Year's Eve and you're drinking. Yeah, you did. But
shame on you.
yeah. But at the same time, so I literally I fly back home and I tell my parents, like, I'm moving. And they're like, well, give it some time, you know. I was like, dude, I'm moving. Like, I'm having a quarter life crisis. I'm moving.
I'm out.
Dude, I'm out. Like 2 weeks later, I have my truck filled, my little Tacoma. I drive out there.
Drove?
Dude, drove out there. It's freaking December. I'm driving through all the snow and all this crap, but I get out there and it was the most unique, most insane, most lonely, most insane time of my life because I get out there and I have no friends or family out there. Like, that girl was the only person I knew. And jeez, dude, it was crazy. So I get out there and I'm trying to make plans with her and trying to, like, you know, make a friend and maybe more. You never know. But but at the same time, but at the same time, she was blowing me off, and I was like, dude, this is messed up. And she was blowing me off because of her getting fired and not having a job.
Yeah.
And you know,
She's like,
I'm more important than that.
She's like, this dingus got me fired.
Yeah, but I was like, dude, you were so. But it was funny. It was a scenario where those 2 videos went viral, and the next like 2 days, she's like, it's because I was in them. I can make you famous and all this. And then she gets fired, and she's like, hates me. And I was like, dude, whatever, loser.
You're not about it.
Yeah, no, you're not about this life. And it worked out because one night I had my neighbor from SDSU. She was from Minnesota. And so she found out I was living there, and she's like, oh, let's go get dinner. And so I was like, okay, let's go get dinner. So we get dinner, and I'm telling her about this Minnesota girl, and she's like, dude, you're way cooler than that. Like, you don't need this girl. I was like, yeah, I don't need this girl.
You're right.
Yeah, so I just freaking like wiped her off everything. I'm super bad with that. Like, if we stop talking,
I
just cut you off, and I have no issue with that. Like, through relationships and stuff like that. But
I'm the same way.
It's like, what are we doing here? Yeah,
what are we doing?
Yeah,
nothing is what we're doing. So
yeah,
see you later.
Yeah, literally, it's like it's nothing malicious, but it's just we gotta go do our thing. And I ended up moving into my apartment in Minnesota, my first time living on my own with my own place, and it was just me, like no roommates, nothing.
Wow.
And it was the very, very much so the loneliest time I've ever been in. But I also realized I think I needed that.
Dude,
I think I needed that.
Guys, come on.
Yeah.
Go back to episode 1 of this podcast. I've always said that. I've always been a huge, just unbelievable advocate for that. Is sometimes it comes by life circumstances where you're forced into it and you don't have another option other than to be alone. But if you can even purposefully put yourself in that situation sometimes, I think it's incredibly beneficial because you learn so much about yourself, who you are, what you want to do, how you think. You're only having conversations with yourself and reflecting on the choices that have led you to where you are now and all those type of things. And that really only happens, I've always said this, if you're alone, if you do know how to be alone and be a recluse in that aspect, because it really does teach you so much
Dude, I learned
about yourself.
I learned so much. And the biggest thing I learned was just gratefulness of the good and the bad things I went through. Because, for instance, if I had never had that, I don't want to say falling out, but that end of us all creating that content together originally, then I never would have worked at the bar, and I never would have hated my life and moved to Minnesota. And if I never would have moved to Minnesota, then I wouldn't have freaking just done everything I'm doing now. But the Minnesota thing, it got even more unique. Here's one last thing I'll say about that was in the sense of I was living in this brand new apartment. The original girl, knew I was living there. She canceled her lease with her home, moves into the apartment I'm at. And yeah, it was very unique because we had like a super nice gym at this apartment complex, and I'm hitting curls. It's the day after Easter.
Yeah.
I'm freaking, no, I wasn't hitting curls. I was on the treadmill, and I see a reflection, and I was like, oh, that's a pretty girl. Like, I was like, freaking, let me just show her the gun show, the little pistols.
Yeah.
So I walk over to the dumbbells. I'm hitting curls, and I turn, and it's the girl. And I was like, dude, no way. I was like, no way this is happening. So I go up to her, and I go, no way. Like, what are you doing here? And she's like, oh, I canceled my lease, and I'm living here now. And I was like, do I go back on what I just pushed her aside. Do I bring her back in, or does she bring me back in? And so we end up talking for a little bit in the gym. She's like, oh, like, do you want to come see my apartment? I was like, yeah, I'll come see your apartment.
It probably looks like mine.
Yeah,
I'll come
like
see
mine.
it.
Yeah. So I go over there, and like we're just talking like super
God.
casual. I think we were drinking like a glass of wine on the balcony or something. And she's like, oh, like, can I see your apartment now? I was like, yeah, you can come see my apartment now. So we walked back and forth, and we ended up doing this for like 2 weeks, you know, nothing extreme in the sense of like, were we dating or anything like that? But it was just like trying to just feel each other out again. Like, is this working or not? And I'm at her place one day, and she has this dog, and it's literally her dog. And then it was me, and I'm going to sleep, tired, whatever. And I get bit by something. It's like 3 a.m. and I get bit. And I was like, was I just dreaming? Like, you know, when you fall, like,
Yes.
I was like,
you like wake up. You're like,
yeah, I was like, what was that? I was like, okay, let me go back to sleep. And so I'm there, and I get bit again. And I'm like, nah. I get up out of the bed this time, and I'm like hitting my legs. I'm like, this is weird. And I tell her, I'm like, dude, I got to be up in like 3 hours. I'm going back to my place. Like, something's not right. So I go back to my apartment. I get bit again after I fall asleep. And I'm like, dude, what? And I swat something, and I look on the bed. There was a tick on the bed, and I didn't know what a tick looked like. So I looked up what a tick looked like, and I zoomed in, I put it next to it, and it was there. And I was like, dude, this girl has ticks. I was like, dude, this is not good.
she's got Lyme disease.
Dude, I was so scared. And so I was like, I call her. It's like 4 a.m. I call her. I was like, dude, I found a tick, and that was what was biting me. And she's like, oh, yeah, I found one. Her dog's name was Odin. She's like, I found one on Odin's nose earlier that day. I was like, bro, you didn't tell me. You just have this dog sleeping in the bed, and you found a tick on its nose. I was like, dude, you don't have a collar for it or something? Like a flea, like a tick collar? And she's like, no, they're kind of expensive. I look it up. It's like 4 a.m. I look it up. It's $20. I was like, dude, we can buy this guy 5 collars right now, honestly. And so literally from that moment on, I never talked to her again. I never talked to her again. I was like, I'm so over this. And that was that. And I just was like,
oh my God.
I'm moving on. That's it.
That's it.
Dude,
I'm
that's
done.
Literally, that was such a good impression. That was so good. and so literally, we never talked again. I never even gave her really context to that. I think I said it in one of my own videos before, and she came down like 2 months later, and basically it was just like crying, and she's like, "You never get tired of me?" I was like, "No, like no."
Keep you and your ticks away from me, dude.
So, you know, things happen for a reason, and that was that. And then I ended up meeting a little Venezuelan boo thing out there, and we really hit it off, and that was like the best thing
Venezuelan in the snow.
Dude, yeah. It was like it was a mutual a mutual connection in the sense that she was tripping out. I left California to go to Minnesota, and I was tripping out because she was in Miami.
Oh.
She went from Miami to Minnesota. I was like, dude, we're both insane. This is perfect.
Perfect. I like you.
Yeah. It was because you could relate to this too. Like normalcy doesn't really blend. Like I need I need a little fire. I need a
Yeah.
little fiesta.
I need you to be a little spicy.
Yeah, literally.
I need you to have a few screws loose.
Dude, I'm just saying. But dude, it looks
few.
like I'm wearing underwear. I gotta pull these shorts down. But yeah, that was pretty much my time in Minnesota, and I was working for Congo Brand, so Prime, Alani, 3D. I got to meet Logan Paul in Vegas, actually.
I remember seeing that on your
Told him
story.
he had some big calves, and was like, all right, this is cool. Prime ends up being a freaking $1 billion brand.
Yeah.
And it grew to the sense that in April of 2024, this last year, I was like, this is it. Like, I'm so over this. I went from being a rep to a manager of Minnesota, Iowa, to a national field sales trainer for like 300 reps. But I already got to the point after only 2 years in the business where I was like, dude, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I would start my meetings telling my team on a relatable level, I don't want to be here. Like, because at the same time, it's like,
Like, let me be real with you.
yeah, everyone, if you go to like any job, there's always a group chat or some sort of lunch conversation where you're like, damn, we're all here.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we're all here.
Good to see you again.
Yep. And so I would start that off, and I would have everyone else say what their dreams and aspirations were.
Jeez.
And it came to the point where I told them my original idea was I wanted my own acai shop. You know,
Ooh.
big berry guy.
Big berry guy.
Yeah.
I want my own juice shop,
Juice
so I
shop.
feel you.
Literally.
I want like a pressed juice shop.
Dude, so sick.
Oh.
And in that sense, I was
good.
really trying to think of what the frick how I was going to make that happen. It's what you were saying earlier. Like, you're not 28, you're not 18. You're like, okay, how do I even start
Yeah,
this?
totally.
And then I saw Poppy. Poppy was growing exponentially and super fast. And
Yeah.
it really kicked off from their Super Bowl commercial where they were rewriting a new soda. I don't know what it was. And I was looking at it and I was like, okay. And I'm in stores every day for Prime and Alani and all that. And I see the amount of space Poppy is getting. And I go, nah, this isn't it. There's no way this company is on trajectory to be a next $1 billion company, and Olipop as well.
Yeah.
And they're so freaking dorky. It's insane. I go, they're all targeting the same consumer. So end up working out a deal with my dad and my dad's best friend who's been in the beverage industry forever. And I was like, dude, what if we have some fun with this? What if we actually target the white space in the sense of the next generation and not just that same better for you consumer that cares about gut health? Like, that was it. So I go, let's make a fun soda that leads with like some good tasting stuff and then has benefits on the side.
Totally.
So you tried the original one, and this ties back to the newest formula that we did. The original one, I also had fiber in there because that's what every other company was doing for Better For You soda.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I realized, why do I need a soda that makes me poop better? I don't. So I took out the fiber, and these new ones just have postbiotics in there, which helps with immunity and things like that. But it's just a Better For You soda at the end of the day. So I ended up switching out passion fruit for sour watermelon, and I made that one like a melted blue icy. So
Okay. I was gonna say, because I tried the original one.
dude.
And also, guys, before we dive into this, the new flavors, we're gonna test some stuff. Obviously, he's the No Cap man over here. I hope you guys have seen it on social. If you guys don't, go follow No Cap. But I do have to give you some flowers, my dude, because number one, 2 reasons. Vinny has always been probably, like, genuinely the only other person in my life, and I would even say honestly more on a level than me, that no matter what figures it the fuck out.
Dude.
And that is one of the most admirable traits about you. I've always respected that about you since I've known you in high school, shooting content. You're like, this is what I want to do. I'm going to do this. Let's do this. We're going to film it. Screw it. Let's do this. I want to go here. I'm going to go here. Yeah. I'm moving late. I need to figure it out, which is an incredibly difficult trait to have, let alone acquire. And you have that. And you have always had that, number one. And that is an incredible trait. And I just want to let you know I've always respected that about you immensely. And that explains a lot of the reason why here we are now with No Cap Soda. You've gone through all of your trials and tribulations and said, I'm going to figure it out regardless. Doesn't matter. And now this is where this has led you. And I'm so excited to have it on the show and to try some and new flavors, a little bit of new kind of twists and stuff to it. And I'm excited. I'm just so happy for you, dude. Like, I genuinely, this is so awesome to see.
Well, dude, it's so weird that you said that about, well, about myself. I appreciate that so much. But it's also, even if it's left unsaid, like we could not talk for 3 years, but I'm still seeing what you're doing. And that subtle, even I sound like one of those like girls that like crystals, but that subtle energy of like even you posting a podcast clip or a clip over there, just making a new song or something like that. It's like, oh, I gotta go. I gotta go. And it's not a negative competitiveness, but it kicks me into gear where I'm like, okay, my friend's doing something that's meaningful to him and he's trying to figure it out. Okay, I got to do the same thing.
100%.
And that's where I'm hard-headed, whereas like I'll figure it out. Like I promise you, we're gonna figure it. What is it? Is it MSR, ASR, ASM,
ASMR,
MSRP? Right here.
Okay, so there's no fiber in them anymore.
No fiber. So you have. I'm calling it the next gen soda pop because there's 0 sugar, 0 caffeine, and 0 calories. Okay. Everyone asks like, "Oh, there's not a soda; it's 0 caffeine." Well, root beer doesn't have caffeine. Yeah. I don't think Sprite has caffeine either. Like,
I don't think Sprite does either.
I don't understand it, and caffeine gives me chest pain. So that's why I said forever we will never have caffeine.
I love it.
So here we go.
How did you come up with the name No Cap? Is this because you're targeting the white space? You're like, hey. Well, not white space in the sense of race, guys. Jesus Christ. Let's just clarify that right now, guys. Get your head out of the gutter.
You might be the only one thinking that. No, but it was literally
the untapped demographic of the market.
Yes. And
yes, pour me up, brother.
I've got 5 flavors for you to try. And we literally thought it smells like a little. Tried to do like a melted blue icy.
Yeah, it does. It smells like a Circle K melted icy.
Mm-hmm. Let me know what you think. 0 calories.
Oh wow. Oh, it tastes completely different.
Completely different.
It tastes completely different.
I switched it from a raspberry to a blue raspberry.
Oh, it tastes completely different than last time I tried it.
Yeah. So I try to mix it up a little bit, but to speak what you're asking, the name. My dad's the one that came up with the name.
I continue to have some more of this.
And so what happened was we were going to call it Better Soda. BETR, just Better Soda. Because I was like, oh, Prime, Logan Paul, okay. What about Jake Paul? Jake Paul has like better picks. I was like, dude, I'll call it Better Soda. I was like, why not? And yeah, it's funny. And I was working out the branding of that, and it was okay, but it just felt too Me Too in the sense of like, just this another healthier soda. It's like, it's not fun. So my dad was literally looking up slang words.
Oh, this is really good.
And he starts saying, I don't even remember the things he was saying first. Natty Pop. He was going to go with Natty Pop because I was trying to work a deal with Bradley Martin and the whole zoo culture, all that stuff. And then I was like, I don't know. Yeah, there was a guy in Cincinnati called like Cincinnati Pop or something like that. Yeah. So I was like, trademark, not going to work. But No Cap, he starts going on Urban Dictionary for slang. He's like, no cap. And I was like, dude, that's hilarious. We don't have a cap, and it's a no lies, healthy, better for you soda. So
I knew that immediately when I saw it, and I was just like, dude, that's genius marketing.
I was like, it's so much fun, and
and you're tapping into that kind of 13 to 25.
Literally the prime consumer. So originally, I thought it was only going to be like 12 to 25. But at the same time, like these sampling events I'm going to, these next generation kids that are literally 5, 4, 3, like all that, their parents are so adamant about like no red 40, no this, no that, like very clean label. We don't have artificial colors, and they freaking love it. So I'm expanding us even further in the sense of I'll go 3 to 30 on our demographic. Because the things I'm working on now are some licensing flavors as well. So a little bit of Airheads actions, maybe a little Sour Punch, Sour Patch, and and tapping into the white space as well. You can relate to this. Is the untapped market is
the untapped market.
Yeah,
untapped
is action sports.
Yes,
moto, surf, anything. I love it. I grew up loving anything with a board or wheels, and it's always been dominated by Red Bull, Monster, Rockstar. This last Olympics happened, dude. I'm seeing 12-year-olds on a skateboard do tricks that are insane.
Yeah.
But they can't sponsor them. The energy drinks can't sponsor them in the sense of they can't endorse the product.
Exactly. They can't have a 12-year-old drinking a Monster can.
No.
What are we doing here?
What are we doing here? It's not going to work.
Yeah, we promote youth heart attacks. Like,
yeah.
what are we doing?
Yeah. So I was like, once again, the untapped market.
Yeah.
I can be a part of this because no one else can. So that's what we're working out right now. And I just signed my first official sponsored rider. He is
Wow, congrats.
He is formerly was a Monster Energy freestyle motocross rider.
It just smells like a caramel apple pop.
Oh, dude, I try to do like a Jolly Rancher caramel pop.
Yeah,
so it's perfect.
It's exactly what it smells
so
like.
This is Apple Riz right here. The smell's the best part. I love the MSRP you did.
I love the MSRP that you
so
did.
Good.
You won't get a lemon at Toyota of Orange.
Yeah, literally.
Wow, it does. It has like a caramely.
I tried to just do that little green after
Yeah.
Granny Smith action.
Like, I for you guys listening right now, when you unwrap a green Jolly Rancher and you first pop it in and like the coating is still super hard,
Yeah.
and like it's like the first burst of flavor.
I'm trying to do something with that.
That's kind of like what this is like reminding me of right now.
So we're working out the kinks, but we're 5 months old. We, like I was saying, we just signed our first rider. This is a cool part. So his name's Jared McNeil. He's got 15 X Games medals. He has 9 of them being gold. I think he's he's one gold medal away from tying the most Moto X Games gold medals of all time behind Travis Pastrana. So if he gets one more, August, I'm hoping for it, he'll tie Travis Pastrana for most all time, which is really freaking cool. And
That'd be insane.
Oh, dude. And he has a 3-year-old that's like addicted to no cap. And this is where I'm saying the next generation. This kid is launching a dirt bike at 3 years old already. Like, not just like on a Stasic where it's just running, a legitimate dirt bike. Freaking
like
jumping.
a 50cc just ripping it.
I'm like, this is crazy. He's 3. I'm like, I've got family. I'm like, I look at that kid. I'm like, dude, you could barely walk. I'm like, this kid literally can barely
You can't even
walk.
make a sandwich, and this guy's over here.
Dude, literally,
whipping over
He can't even spell his name. And he's launching a dirt bike. I'm like, this is freaking wild. So
Totally.
It just opened up so much space for me in this new category where I'm like, okay, I think this can freaking work. And the more we dive into it, I'm working on a really big influencer right now. And if I can, so the deal is already pretty much closed.
Yeah.
I just have to get the signature. And that was another thing, dude. Trying to find a right influencer.
Yeah.
That was so hard. Like I was losing my mind because I was trying to go in that fitness category of like all the young LA athletes and things like that.
It's such like a
dude.
I feel like that demographic is really, really hard.
Well, it's like I was still going off of.
I also feel I don't mean to interrupt, but I feel like it's also so oversaturated with like you got like the Gorilla Minds and the Bucked Ups and like
all energy.
They're all energy, but I feel like that crowd's
and so
kind of vibe.
It was like 2 things. One is their contracts. Everyone got screwed on their contracts. I was talking to multiple people from Gorilla Mind. I'll share one with you after this that I think you would freaking crush with. But it was a contract where they're not allowed any other beverage partnerships.
Gotcha.
Even if it's a soda, a water, anything. They wrote it so they're exclusive. So I'm like, dude, that kind of screws that up. And then at the same time, a lot of these guys, they have their agents as like their neighbor, their auntie, this and that. And I'm like, dude, trying to talk to these people is so annoying. I'm like, you guys are so lost on this category and scenario. So ended up moving my way back towards like normalcy of influencers like the Balin Levines or just like people like that.
Yeah.
And wasn't really working out either. And this one, I'll tell you after the show. I don't want to name it just in case.
No, of course.
But I'll tell you right after the show. It will change us where I think we can go from where in 1 week, February 4th from today, we will be in 75 Albertsons Vons pavilions in SoCal.
Wow.
And I think overnight it'll allow us to be national distribution. So I could hit up Walmart and say,
put us in.
Put us in every single 4,500 stores. I can hit up Target, say, put us in every one of your stores. I can hit up Kroger, put us in every one of your stores. And I think it's going to level us up, dude.
Wow.
So I'm super, super excited. And we're only 5 months old.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys are like
5 months.
Brand new.
Yeah. But it ties back to that hustle, dude. I'm freaking.
Exactly. But it also like then kind of how to traverse backwards a little bit into the episode is how you said that, if I didn't do this in San Diego, I wouldn't have moved to Minnesota, and I wouldn't have done this, and they wouldn't let me into the bar, and if I hated my job at the bar, I wouldn't have done this. If you wouldn't have gone through all that, and especially wouldn't have spent all your time in all the content you filmed and all the content we filmed, and just all that kind of experimentation and just the naivete of the process at being that young and the age that we were has now, I feel that you have a business and it's required so much on content and just all the elements into marketing and building a brand like this. You're like, wait, I've kind of done this already.
That is that's the most interesting part, because so many people have actually been asking us, like, who does your guys' marketing and all that? And I'm like, it's literally me and my friend Angel, and we just go around with the camera filming.
Yep.
But it like when we first started doing that content, even the content me and you were doing together, this is even the funnier aspect. I started this brand with my dad. The whole father-son story,
Yep.
we're doing this together. But when I first started doing content, he drove down to San Diego literally the day after I posted the first podcast and was like, you have to stop doing this. Like, I'm not going to let you do this type of thing. And I, at my first little mini grown man moment, was like, dude, I'm doing this. Like,
Yeah.
I found an avenue and something I enjoy, and I'm going to keep doing it. And whatever, it came to a point where he thought I didn't even like him. Like, we had some very intense conversations and weren't really speaking frugally.
Yeah.
And then it kept developing to his next company he was with was a great product, but it had no marketing. And so he always would tell me, like, dude, if I just had a marketing, if I just had something, I know I can get this brand going. Get what you pay for. Then he ends up hearing from Prime Alani Congo Brands asking him to go run those businesses. Then he has a marketing machine of Logan KSI, and it just all came together because then No Cap comes, and it's just all these years of learning marketing and stuff from my end. His almost 30 years of sales distribution on his
100%.
end. It's just like it all worked out. Like, everything happens for a reason. I'm convinced on that.
100%.
Nobody could ever argue that, and it's just worked out.
And please, guys, seriously, I know this sounds so cliche, but dude, you guys just got to trust the process, and you guys got to go through the shit. You guys have to have the lows to have the highs. Just, if you believe in it, please, because it might not happen next week, next month, 2 years, 5 years. But if you stay at it and you are determined that, hey, I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to decide what I want to do because this is what I love, just continue to do it. Like, that's why I love this so much. This is like a prime example of just that whole moral of a story is right here.
No,
of perseverance, of going through all this shit for years and years and years to get here where you're like, yes, I feel like I have purpose. I love what I'm doing. You know, that it's just
try so
dude,
many different
it's just
things.
I'm just so happy and I'm so excited for you, like, because it's a triumphant story, and like obviously it's you, so I'm so stoked.
Well, like something I think you can relate to too is how many different things I've tried and we've tried, in the sense of, like, not just different content, but if it's going to go rock climbing, or if it's going to go ride dirt bikes, or if it's
or go run for 24 hours.
Run for 24 hours. Like, literally, that was another thing that my dad never understood growing up, of me trying so many different things. Like, he always made fun of how many hobbies I had, but it didn't help me figure out the things I liked. It helped me figure out the things I didn't like, which was so awesome, because I wasn't putting my energy towards things I didn't like. If I didn't like it, all right, I'm not going to do it. If I don't like that person, I'm not going to
do it.
Him. Like,
100%. We're very similar.
Yeah.
We're very similar in that way.
Yeah.
If I don't see the value in it for me, and I just know, hey, this is going to be a waste of my time and a waste of your time.
Yeah.
Later.
It's not a bad.
Yeah, it's not a diss.
It's just like, dude, we're just wasting time.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it is. Totally.
Things to do, places to be, type of thing.
So is this sour watermelon?
I try to do a little bit of a Sour Patch watermelon.
I was going to say, why am I getting Sour Patch?
Yep, I try to do that one. Let's see this one.
I don't know if you guys can hear this.
Let's see the reaction. You're one of the first people to try it.
Oh.
Yeah. A little bit different, huh?
Whoa.
The best is...
You know what? I got to give you credit, because I'm a very big stickler on... There's a couple artificial flavors or flavors that are really hard to nail for me, where I enjoy drinking them.
Yeah.
Watermelon is one of them. And peach is another one that I'm like, oh, it's just like the super like juicy nectary type fruits.
Yep. And no artificial flavors in this.
Yeah, okay. So
no artificial flavors or colors.
Wow.
Super clean label. Yep.
Let's get that clear, guys.
You know who did our formula was the creator, the head formulation of Bang Energy. So
wow, this is really good, dude.
They were known for flavor and marketing, and that's basically what I'm trying to do as well, minus all the craziness they had and
wow,
all that. But working out the kinks, dude. It's really, really coming together, and I'm super, super proud. Like I was explaining
You should be.
I was explaining to Jesse like 2 days ago. I go, this could end tomorrow, and I wouldn't regret everything I put towards this. You know, I mean, there's been multiple. It sounds so cheesy and so cliche from every motivational video there is, but there's so many nights where I'll be up to like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. or not sleep, but I enjoy this so freaking much. And I think it's my brain because I like puzzles, and this is a never-ending puzzle forever. Like my girlfriend was trying to say, like, oh, you could just, take a break and, this and that. And I was like, dude, there's no such thing because I can always make this better. Like I'm addicted to this.
That is unbelievably funny that you say that, because yesterday I was on the phone with one of my good buddies, just catching up, haven't seen him in a while, and he was asking me, what do you do for, what's like a hobby? Do you have hobbies? Because I train at the gym 5 days a week, and then this is, hours in the morning and then hours at night. He's like, what do you do for hobbies? I'm like, I know it sounds so weird, but my hobby is I enjoy being down here on a Saturday and how to color grade better, or how to edit this, or, is there a new way that I could, a production tip or a tool, or how do I make the podcast better? Or like, I enjoy those type of things. Like, that's what I like to do for fun, because as you said, you can always make it better. And you're always, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
And I relate to you so heavy on that. And it's so funny that you say that, because I had that conversation yesterday.
This is what I'm curious to ask you this. How do you balance all of like these, not just passion projects, but things we want to do full time with family and friends and things like, because I'm terrible at that.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at like reaching out or things like that, because I get so #locked in D1 bound into what I'm doing. No, it's so bad, because then I'll realize, I'm like, damn, a whole year's gone by and I haven't talked to this cousin in so long, or I haven't reached out to this friend. I'm like, dude, I hope they don't think I hate them. Like, I'm just busy,
For sure.
How do you balance that?
It's honestly a really good question, because someone asked me that recently. Actually, the first guest of the year that I had on the podcast asked me that off camera. But I think for me is, I'm just a very structured person. I'm big on schedule, and I think I'm a very like regimented and disciplined guy, as far as this time happens. When this time comes around, this is what I do, et cetera, et cetera. So my obligations and my responsibilities are very scheduled, and so I know my allotted amount of time for work or for creative or for this, with no compromise. This is what I do at these hours of the day to get done what needs to get done.
Yeah.
I make sure I have my weekends free, so that way I can go to dinner with my lady, or we can take the dog somewhere. I make sure I have at least a couple days of the week that are dedicated to, hey, watching football with the boys, or, setting aside some time within a 7-day frame.
Yeah.
So that way 3 weeks, 4 weeks doesn't go by. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
I haven't.
So bad at that.
We haven't gone to dinner, or, oh my God, I haven't seen how the homie was, and all those type of the little minute things that just can easily slip by.
Yeah.
I think that's how I, in a kind of a simple answer, stay structured and balance. That is what I just said, and just the no compromise aspect. Hey, I took on the gym, and I have over 20 young athletes that I train Monday through Friday. That is now an obligation in my schedule that is unwavering. So that means, okay, now I have to wake up a little bit earlier so I can go to the gym, get done what I need to get done, have 4 to 5 hours in the morning if I have studio work I need to do, go to the gym, then come home and usually make my lady dinner because she's in nursing school, or we go and get dinner, and just...
So you're very schedule oriented.
Yes, I think that would be my answer, is I'm very schedule oriented, because it keeps me disciplined and organized in my time, to making sure that I have enough time to do all the other things that I need to do that aren't creative or work related.
Yeah.
No,
that makes sense. I mean,
and also having people in your life that understand that, I think is really important. That, hey, this is what I do this is what I've been doing long before you've been here. So that won't change because what I do is and will continue to allow us to have a life together.
Yeah.
So I need you to respect that, and I think that goes for significant others, but I think also friends and people who understand that can be 3 years, a year, or whatever, and I haven't seen you or we haven't really talked, but then we meet and it's right back
to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think there's that mutual understanding when people are on a very similar wavelength.
Such like a dude thing too.
It is. It's such a dude. It's such a dude thing. It really is.
Yeah.
But I think the simplicity of kind of that mindset is it makes it possible for me. And then people who don't understand or don't agree with that, I don't have energy or time for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like
No.
and like how we've been saying, it's not a diss, but I have so much energy everywhere into the things that I care about and the people that I care about and the things that I need to do, that if it doesn't align with that and you don't align with that, or if an opportunity doesn't align with my goals or my morals or my time, then I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think, but we're also at that age where that's okay, especially if you're building a brand, you're building a business, you're putting your energy into the thing that you love and you care about. It's okay.
Or friends that are building a family now, even like
Exactly.
completely different.
People getting
Completely
married and having kids and totally.
It's so
like,
nuts because it like ties back to me of like that maturity aspect of finally realizing like, oh, everyone's trying their best, you know, at whatever they think is best. Oh, what you thought? What you thinking? A little bit of orange.
Is this Tangy Orange?
Tangy orange.
So did you change Tangy Orange from the cream soda orange?
Strawberry cream.
Strawberry. There you
Strawberry Dream, strawberry cream. But I changed all 5 formulas. So Bus and Berry is the blue raz. It was raz.
This one is
before.
really good.
I added 5% more flavor orange to that because I tried it the first time, and this little kid.
That is really good.
Dude, this little girl was like, I don't really like carbonated water, but this is good. And I was like, dude, this is soda. This is not carbonated water, okay? I took offense to it. I was like,
you're
okay.
like, yo.
Yeah, like, dude, I'll fight you.
You're a 3-year-old.
Yeah, literally. So I added 5%.
Are you flipping dirt bikes? No, so shut up.
Yeah, literally. But dude, I picked the best demographic. They were the most honest demographic.
Brutally.
Dude, literally. So I sampled 1,000 cans last weekend, and it was the best feedback ever because a lot of the kids had tried the first formula, and then they tried this one, and they're like, I tried that one. I didn't really like it. And then I'm like, no, try the new one. They tried it. They're like, whoa. I'm like, oh, we're heading in the right direction.
For sure. Honestly, I didn't even think about it too from that angle, the demographic that you're going after.
They're honest.
Yeah,
so honest.
So honest.
So honest.
Because I feel like kids would be like, nah, I don't like it.
Well, that's like the most interesting part of Prime that I saw was, yes, you can do $1 billion. You can be the fastest growing beverage in history. But at the same time, a lot of the kids were buying it. This is my firsthand witnessing in store.
Yeah.
They're buying it for the hype of the bottle, the affiliate that's a part of it, the influencer, whatever. But then the taste, they're like, yeah, it's okay. It's a super sweet product, this and that, yada, yada.
Totally.
So I'm like, okay, let's be a freaking good taste in soda pop first.
This is really good.
And the hype will come with that. So
I really enjoy the orange.
it's a work in progress, dude. Wait, let's try the last one.
Let's try the last one. Let's get it on.
Strawberry Dream.
Can you believe it's already been an hour?
Dude. It's wild.
Crazy.
You ever thought of doing a 24-hour podcast?
Ooh.
Think about that one.
Yo, that would be actually super fun.
That'd be so
I would like put the cameras like up here, and we'd have the podcast like in the studio,
That would be sick.
so people could just like walk
Come
around.
go,
yeah,
yeah.
come and go. Yeah. Ooh, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, you see, always thinking, dog.
I don't know how the hell I would do that though.
You know, anything's impossible. Okay. Anything's impossible. Here we go. All right. See if you're a cream guy.
Ooh,
Yeah, you like that?
you like that cream?
Well, wine and dine. It's like I love the Key and Peele skit where they're faking Mike Tyson and his competitor. He's like,
Ooh,
"Oh, you like that?
ooh.
Mm.
What does it taste like? Oh my god.
So I tried to do a little
Dude.
strawberry cream in that action.
Oh, it tastes like something that I like haven't had in so long, and I'm trying to.
Like the best videos I get with this one is they'll send me a DM and it's like mixing it with like vanilla ice cream, like making their own little
Like
little
a
float kind of thing.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're kind of doing that, and Dude, the best feedback isn't even just the kids; it's the parents. Because who's buying them the product?
It's the parents. How do you get the cream flavor in this?
Dude.
Because it's very creamy.
Yeah, so that's this one. I kept the strawberry the same, but I added some more cream just for that extra cream. But that's all our formulator, man.
And the subtraction of the fiber, is that because the one thing I noticed the last time I tried it, the very first batch, was there was like an aftertasty kind of tinge.
I think it
after you drank it, it would like taste great, and then you're like,
yeah, there's a little fiber on my tongue.
Yeah, and I'm like, is that the fiber?
I think so. It was a whole blend of
because these don't have that at all.
No, so I took it out because
it tastes cleaner almost.
Yeah, well, dude, it went from 10 calories to 0, which I mean 10 and 0 is freaking damn near close enough. But the biggest reason I took it out was 2 reasons. Number one, fiber was a third of our cost to make this soda, so that saves us a ton for that aspect. But the bigger reason was with our demographic. If you were a kid and you saw someone drinking a fiber soda, they're getting made fun of. I go, oh, you like poopy soda? Yeah, I'm like, I immediately was like, dude, no way am I
bad for business.
But no way am I gonna become a meme on day one where it's like it becomes not cool because that's the hardest part of my demographic is I have to stay relevant
for
with,
sure
within
you're playing a relevance
being a part of it. So with that's why I'm glad we went with the no cap name because I can also play that we don't have a cap. So that'll last forever. There were some concerns about Bus and Berry and Apple Riz from 2 major retailers that the slang, what happens when the slang leaves. I go, dude, Bussin' was a trending TikTok thing in like 2019, 2020. Our generation's slang is the next generation's vocabulary.
Yeah.
The kids are just coming up, and that's just what they say day to day. It's like us saying dope.
For sure. Yeah,
Our parents, grandparents' generation, dope was like drugs. Now we're just saying like, that's dope. That's cool.
For sure. Yeah, that's actually a really, really good point.
So I have some kinks to work out, but we have some tricks up our sleeve, dude, and really, really, really figuring it out. And I think we're heading in the damn right direction.
No, I think you are too, and I'm very excited to hear this influencer once we stop filming because I'm like ultra curious.
I have to figure out what the closest store that we're gonna be in for Bayou, where your home is, because I think that would be sick to do some sort of display or DJ skit of you in a store with the no cap. That would be freaking hard.
Let me know.
Dude,
Albertsons literally around the corner.
Okay, I'll look at the
big ass Albertsons.
I'll look at the store list right after this.
Yeah.
But no, that's just a little bit on the brand, and I know I came late because I'm an idiot, but my mom, this is where I get my crazy from. My mom signed up for a half marathon Spartan this morning and didn't even tell like me or my dad and was just like, I'm going. And so she was there at 7 a.m. this morning, and then I had to take my dad there to drive her back and all that. So
absolute beast.
Crazy is genetic, and that's what I always laughed at when they made fun of me for like going to Minnesota or just doing anything.
You're like, this is your guys' fault.
I'm like, dude, I'm a blend of both of you.
Yeah.
Like, this is not my fault.
Yeah,
Like,
this is your guys' fault.
Yeah, this is not my fault. But
how are your parents? They good?
Good. Yeah,
good.
Dude. We literally, it's so funny how many people reach out on Instagram or something via the no cap handle, and they're like asking about an order or asking about just an influencer kit or this, that. And I'm like, little do these people know, it's literally my mom, me, my dad, day to day, my dad's best friend Dave, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. We don't have these giant teams. Like, I'll go to a trade show, they're like, who's your marketing department? And I'm like, like me. Yeah. and like, for instance, one guy was like, oh, where did you go to graphic design school or this or that? And I go, dude, I literally downloaded Canva and I started having fun. Like, that was it. That was it.
It's all you need.
But dude, I'm blowing people's mind because then like, he's probably, no lie, he's the head of marketing. He's probably getting paid close to like $200,000 a year. And he's like,
yeah, I'm like, this dude is going to take my job.
Yeah. I'm like, we're not making any money right now. I always joke with people, we're the most exciting non-revenue company there is because there's
putting everything back in.
Putting everything back in.
For sure, as you should be.
So it is what it is.
I love it, dude.
But
amazing.
No, dude, I really appreciate you having me on.
Dude,
I appreciate just everything, man. Like I said, it really does mean a lot, words unspoken, of just seeing your friends really, really, really dive into everything that they're doing. If it's you and we're not talking, but I'm still seeing you create, it motivates me. My buddy Tyler, he's a dad now. He wants to be the best dad he can be.
Yeah.
That motivates me, like just trying to be the best and
Exactly, dude.
try to just have some fun, dude. I really want to take a chance on this, and I knew no matter what in my life, I'm going to take a chance on something. If it was creating, or I guess all of it's been creating something, if it's a digital content or an actual soda, but it's just having fun, man. Just having fun. That's it. I enjoy every single bit of it.
I love that, dude. And that tails perfectly into the final question of the podcast that everyone gets asked, and it's, you guys know it. It's the 7 on 7's one life advice question.
One life advice, man.
Yeah, if someone you knew or someone random was like, "Hey, Vinny, I need a piece of advice right now to help me through," what would it be?
Go to your Minnesota. Literally, it could be go to your Minnesota. Whatever that it was for you, if you really feel like you're on the breaking point and you just don't want to force what you're doing anymore, take a chance, you know? I went out to Minnesota with no job in line. I was just going to wing it, start bartending at a random spot out there. Was just going to figure it out, and it worked for me, man. It really, really worked for me. And that time alone, because you can spend time alone and not get anything done. You have to be very deliberate with how you spend that time alone. I really took it to heart to just be out there, start journaling, and start just figuring out, what the hell do I want to be? What do I have to do? And how can I get there? And that's pretty much it. Live the life you want to live. That's it. Do the shit you got to do to live the life you want to live.
Exactly.
That's it.
I love that.
Word.
On that, guys, man, Vinny, dude, this was amazing. Thank you so much for coming on, driving down here, and bringing the flavors, bringing the soda on. I'm so excited for you and everything that's coming up, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy to see it. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be a good year, dog.
It's gonna be good.
Good year.
It's gonna be good.
Good year tires. We're good.
Yep. MSRP.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that bombshell, guys, it's time to end. Thank you guys so much for listening and for watching. Episode 41 is now in the books. We will be back next week. I love you guys. Thank you, Vinny. Thank you once again. We'll see you later.
Gas break deal.
MSRP.